In a previous video, I went through the Eufy alarm system. If you missed this, I've put the link down in the description below and it's popping up on the screen now. We're going to continue looking at that and add to the ecosystem. So in front of me here today, I have the doorbell and a CCTV camera. Let's take a look at both the items and how they work. First though, let's talk about models. Both the doorbell and camera have a bunch of different models that you can buy. The camera, you have the 2 and the 2 Pro, the 2C and the 2C Pro. One thing with the 2C and the 2C Pro is it has a spotlight built into it, which we'll demo a little bit later. However, this model I have here is the 1080p camera with 180-day battery life. It has human and face detection, it's IP67 rated. The Pro model of this camera has an upgraded model with a 2K camera. If you'd like to see a comparison between these, let me know down in the comments below. Now, the doorbell. You have the option of buying a hardwired or battery-based one. This one I have in front of me here today is the 1080p battery-powered version, and it gives a 120-day battery life. The other models within the range have a 2K camera and give a 180-day battery life. Again, if you'd like to see a comparison between the two, let me know down in the comments below. For now, let's move on to the unboxing and how you set them up. So we have in front of us the two doorbell and camera. If you remember in the previous video, I mentioned their big selling thing is no monthly fees, so there's nothing on here for that. It is all stored locally. So let's start with looking at the doorbell itself. So this just comes in a box that you open like this. And then once you open it up, I think I mentioned in a previous video, it is very Ring-like in terms of their presentation and packaging. You have the box that comes in here. Let's have a look at what comes inside. So I think much like the other ones, you get the Eufy stickers that you can put on your front door. And this looks like a marking instructions for step 4, but we won't go through that too much at the moment. We'll put that to one side. Once you remove the cover, so you have the doorbell itself, which is like that. So the doorbell button, there's a little film on the front of it. On the back, we have a little look. On the back, you have a micro SD card, which goes just here, which allows you to charge it by the looks of it. There's the sync button when you're synchronizing it. Yeah, there's not really too much to it. I think that's it. So pop that to the side. We have the chime. This goes straight into the plug. So again, I think this will be another sync one, and there's a SD card slot just here. So if you want to add some more storage space for your recording, that is right here. Then we take the plastic sheet off, and I think we have all the mounting bits here. So step 5, I'm guessing there's a step-by-step instruction guide in there. Not going to go through it, but you've got 2 different mounts. So you've got one, that's where that step 4 sticker is. So you can mount that on the wall like that. And if you need it in a bracket, you've got the angled bracket at the back to place on it, so you can have it in an angle. And last but not least, I'm guessing this is the screws and a USB cable. So yeah, we have a screw with like a SIM card remover tool. So like for the iPhone, that is to inject in at the bottom here when you want to release your camera. And we have a USB cable, and we have a European plug. And now let's have a look at the camera itself. So in here, again, it's going to be fairly similar in terms of the previous one. So let's have a look inside the box. Yeah, so you've got your sticker and the pack. I'm not really interested in those. We have the camera itself. So little film, it's not been packaged correctly in here, but little film on the top here to remove once you start using, same as this one. And I'm guessing inside here, we have all the mounts and screws. So yeah, just like this one, we have the mounting point. You would screw this plate into the wall, and then you would screw the camera onto here like this. So we have some screws that come in the pack, and we have a USB cable. And I think that's it. So that's it that comes in for both of those. I'm going to go ahead and get this mounted. As I mentioned, it's fairly easy. You just screw that in here. This part comes off. And you would put this on the wall. And then you just screw it in. And then it's got the ball and socket joint, so you can place it in whatever angle that you need. Actually, just before I do that, I've forgotten the main thing. I'm going to get it synchronized with the application itself. So let's go ahead and do that. So we can scroll down to the bottom. We can click Add Device. Let's start with the camera. So we can hit, there you go. So Eufy 2C and 2C Pro. Click Next. You need to hit the little sync button at the top. So that is just there. There you go. So you hear the beep.
Unable to add device.
So that's probably a mistake on my part. Make sure the blue light is flashing. Click Retry and click Next.
Ready to add device.
You can see the light is still flashing. There you go. It's added successfully now.
Device was added successfully.
We're going to say this is, so for example, in the garage, and then the camera is initializing. So there we go, that camera's been added. So you have a few options here. You can choose optimal battery life, optimal surveillance, or customize it. So I'm going to go with optimal surveillance for now, and then click Next. And then it recommends that you charge it, and then how you mount it. It's just going to quickly show you the signal. So this is me right here. And I don't know if you can hear it, but you can probably hear the sound in here as well. There you go, you can hear the feedback too. So let's click Finish. And there we go. You can see I have two cameras set up now. I did set one up earlier for some testing. Next, let's go down and let's add the doorbell. So battery doorbell, and then it's going to look for the QR code, which is on the back. So it's going to say, do you want to add the doorbell Wi-Fi chime or connect to the existing home base? So we're going to add the Wi-Fi doorbell chime. And then again, same, scan the QR code. And then it shows you how to set it up and what's recommended. So let's click Next. It shows you how to install it. And then you have to connect the phone to the same Wi-Fi that it's going to join. So we click Next. It's going to try and use Bluetooth. So let's click the sync button. Okay, so we've gone ahead and plugged it in and click Next. It's going to now try and connect to the device.
Welcome to Eufy Security. Follow the instructions in Eufy Security app to set up the system.
Then you would choose what network you want it to connect to. So I'm just going to put it on my network. There you go. So that's just told me it's connected successfully. Just waiting for the app to update. Let's call that doorbell chime. Click Continue. And then click Next. So it's going to go off and update it. So that'll take about 5 minutes. So let's go ahead and let that finish. So let's go ahead and click Next because that's updated successfully. So back to where we were before, let's go ahead and finish adding our camera. Let's just turn this on. Okay, it will say select the home base. So actually let's go ahead and use the chime.
Press the sync button until you hear the beep.
So press the sync button until you hear the beep. There you go. Click Next. There you go. That's been added successfully now. So it's asking, does your car face the street? Because what you might want to do is add the 15-degree bracket to turn it slightly away. In that sense, then it reduces the number of motions that are going to appear on the camera. In this case, we'll just put no, and then it's going to ask you the size of your porch. So I'm just going to say longer than 3 meters for now. Click Next, and then it's going to tell you to make sure it's positioned properly. We're not going to install this just yet. And there's no SD card, and you can enable cloud storage if you want. So if I click Enable Cloud Storage, you can get a free trial for 14 days if you wish for that to happen. For now, we're just going to click Skip. You can invite family and friends to view this, and there we go. That's the front doorbell, that's done. Just quickly went away and re-added it to the base station. So it seems like you can't add it to both, or there's no options to connect to both, unfortunately. You would have to make a choice whether you want to use the base station or the chime. There is an option within here, if I quickly show you, for indoor chime, and that you can use the home base as a chime, which we're which is fine, which is what we set up. You can also even use Alexa as a chime. So if you have some Alexas set up, when the doorbell is pressed, that will trigger the doorbell motion as well, or doorbell chime as well. It is a bit of a shame that you can't connect to both. I can understand, obviously, you want to connect to one base station or the other, but it would be good to use the other one as a chime as well. Just while I am connected to the base station as well, I'm just going to quickly show you the chime volume. So I'm going to press the button. So that gave you approximately about 85 to 90 decibels in terms of the sound. What I'm going to quickly do now is repair this back up with the Wi-Fi chime. I'm going to pop this next to the chime. Unfortunately, it is plugged into the wall, so I'm going to have to place it next to it, and I'll give you the reading of it once I know what it is. So the chime also gave you a reading of about 90 decibels, or 85 to 90 decibels as well. So it's a similar sort of sound wherever it is. So let's go ahead and take these out and get them mounted, and then we'll run some tests in terms of how they look during the day, what the volume is like, and what the picture is like also as well. This is me standing about 2 meters away from the camera, and the audio you can hear on the camera itself. I don't know how clear it is, but we'll see how it is in the video. So this is a quick test of the doorbell. I'm standing very close to it. So let's have a look at this kind of image you're getting on this. I hope you found those clips useful, and even the video that I've put together here today. Let me know down in the comments below if you would use the Eufy setup in your home, and if so, which products would you use? Would you use the whole suite, or would you just use a few of the items that I've shown over the last couple of demos? All the links to the products I've talked about are in the description below, so feel free to check them out. They are linked to my Amazon affiliate, and if you do use them, it does help me out. This is InsideWire, and I'll see you in the next one.